Alright guys, here we go. Stream is launching. Here we go. Everything looks good. Let's test everything out. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Here we go. We're starting up a little bit early. Get everything ready to go for the special 1-hour stream tonight, celebrating my 1-year anniversary of streaming on YouTube. Hopefully it goes without a hitch. I'm hoping everything will go status quo based on what I'm seeing here. Have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight with the stream. Do a little show and tell like we normally always do, and I'm going to talk about the next giveaway that's sponsored by Entertainment Earth, which will be happening. I'm thinking about the second week of March. Drink of tonight's choice. We're going back to the classic. We'll do a little Dr. Pepper tonight, guys. A little Dr. Pepper tonight. You might hear my voice a little raspy. I do apologize. I had some sinus drain, and I got some cough drops here. So I might hear a little bit of coughing on the stream. I do apologize ahead of time. Hopefully we'll have some people coming into the stream tonight. It is my 1-year anniversary. I want to kind of go back to the beginning of when I started streaming to give you guys a full picture of the streaming perspective of where I was coming from and how I came to where I'm at right now. That's the idea. My shirt, if you're curious, is from Supernatural. I'm just starting to watch Supernatural now. I saw several years ago the first 2 seasons of Supernatural. I'm getting reacquainted with the show now. I'm watching it in season, so a couple episodes into the very first season right now. So I'm going to watch as much as I possibly can through. I know when people have told me some seasons are better than others, so we'll see what happens. So again, drink of choice tonight is Dr. Pepper. We'll put a cough drop in now, so hopefully it doesn't mess up the voice too much. Again, I do apologize if it's a bit scratchy for me talking. But yeah, so we're going to be doing an hour-long stream tonight. Everything should be good in the stream. I rebooted the OBS earlier. I rebooted my network card, so I don't think I'm going to have any streaming issues per se. Fingers crossed. So I hope everything will be good going forward. So let's actually start out the stream kind of where I began the streaming process. Tomorrow, actually, we'll... hey, Jackie, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. Tomorrow will be the literal 1-year anniversary. Hey, Toronto, thanks for coming into the stream. Tomorrow will be my literal 1-year anniversary from when I started streaming a year ago on YouTube. I wanted to make this one a little bit more special. It's not as special as, let's say, one of my anniversary videos would be for me on YouTube, per se. This is sort of an offshoot of a piece I do for YouTube. It's not me, it's not my entire channel in a perspective. But when I started streaming, I literally had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue of the streaming platform. I had no clue how YouTube would do it. And luckily, one of my subscribers, a guy who I followed, who followed me, named Cletus Selden. He is a professional boxer. He's also has one of the largest Funko collections probably in the U.S. I think he has every single Funko that was ever made for Star Wars. I think every Star Wars pop he owns. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe every single one that was a normal pop, an exclusive pop, mystery box, anything along those lines. Not, I don't think a mini mystery figure, but a normal pop itself. He has that pop. So him and I kind of discussed, I wanted to do streaming, and him and I basically, for about 2 to 3 hours on a given week, leading up to February 26th actually, him and I talked about me trying to be linking into streaming. Hey, Ultimate Killer, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. My 1-year anniversary on streaming on YouTube. Just giving you guys a heads up of how I came here. This will be good for people who maybe not know how I came about when I do my streaming, or my new subscribers. So the idea was, him and I talked, and we worked out a way for me to do streaming using the OBS platform. I've had hiccups along the way, but I've learned how to use the platform to the best of my possible ability. Yeah, exactly, Ultimate. Yeah, thanks for coming in. You've been here for a while now. I think you can see how my stream has progressed. I think I've gotten a little bit better with streaming over these months. I'm pretty regular when it comes to the streaming platform. I've only missed maybe a handful of streams. I originally started out as doing it a 1-hour stream. The problem is I saw a lot of drop-off happening about the 30-minute mark. So I decided, you know what, let me make 30-minute streams, about 3 months ago, I decided, let me cut them down to 30-minute streams and do the special ones, let's say New York Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Cons, any type of special announcements, do those as 1-hour streams. Make it more worthwhile to you guys, the viewers and the audience, because you guys take me into your home every Monday night. I'm really, really thankful for people who watch this content. Again, I do a lot of different things on my stream. I do things like I talk reviews, I do unboxings. I've done unboxings on the stream before. I've talked about conventions. I've talked about news. I talked about the paranormal, sci-fi, fantasy. I've talked about the supernatural stuff. We've talked conspiracy theories. We've talked all sorts of stuff on the stream. And I think I've gotten better as a presenter for my entertainment to you guys, the audience. And I think I'm a little more open and a little more relaxed when it comes to the streaming platform. That's just me as a whole. I do enjoy doing streaming. I do wish I didn't have issues with the internet. I do wish I had issues with my computer locking up. It is unfortunate that happens with my personal PC. Down the road, I want to upgrade that PC. I want to get a more powerful machine, because I don't want to have the issue with buffering or locking. I want to give you, 1080p quality. I want to give you better ambiance, better lighting. I want to give you just a better presentation, a better format. That's what I want to do as a presenter of content to you guys, because I think you guys can enjoy the content in a better and more technological way. So that's kind of where I'm at in streaming. I've talked about a lot of stuff. Cletus, again, big shout out to him, big plug to him. He's helped me put together this whole format. Again, I am very thankful for him to build this format for you guys, my audience. So let's talk about some stuff first. 1-year anniversary out of the way. We're going to talk, it's going to be more of an open format for this hour, guys. After I get done talking my stuff, we can fire Q&As. If you want to talk about anything, if you want to shoot, back and forth banter, I'm more than willing to talk about it. So, yesterday I put a video up. It's Funko Pop Battles number 2. It's a new video format series I debuted about a month ago, where I try to look at it from an objective perspective of doing a video review of 2 Funko items that share a universe. What I mean by that is something that doesn't cross universes, meaning I'm not going to have an anime character against a comic book character. I won't go down that road. It would be 2 anime characters, let's say 2 Dragon Ball characters, or for example, Pop Battles number 1 was 2 Power Rangers, White Ranger and Green Ranger. I put them head to head, and White Ranger really crushed the Green Ranger in the responses for that video. It did pretty well. Funko Pop Battle dropped yesterday, and it hasn't got a whole lot of viewership yet. I hope you guys will definitely take a look at it after the stream if you have not yet watched it. It's something that's right now running, as far as the comments go, very, very close head-to-head. We're talking Star Wars. We're talking Clone Commanders. We're talking Clone Commander Cody, which, of course, is this guy here, against Captain Rex, which is this guy here. And I thought this way of doing this Funko Pop battle would be a much closer way, a much more tighter set of comments and views. Cool, dude. Thank you very much, Toronto. But I think it's a much closer result, because they're both very, very good pops, and they both bring their own pros and cons to the table. I'm going to tally up all the votes in about a week or so, and I'm going to come back in the next following stream and say who won the Funko Pop battle, tell you what I think is the better pop, and give you a sneak peek of the next month's Funko Pop battle. I have an idea what it's going to be. It wasn't any of the viewers. Actually, it was a viewer request. A viewer request did come up on the stream. That will be Funko Pop Battle number 3. I really enjoy doing the Funko Pop Battle stuff, mainly because it's completely different. It's very objection-based, meaning I'm not using my opinion. I'm going to look at it completely objective, from an objective perspective, and bring you all the information that are what these pops bring to the table. Good, bad, or indifferent, I will tell you exactly what I see with these items. So that's the idea for Funko Pop Battle. Next, it's funny because me and my girl, we go into, let's say, I think it's called It's Sugar a lot in malls. And we've had dates there before. And one of the things she really likes are the Pusheen cats. And every single time I see Pusheen, it's very, very funny because they always go, Pusheen! I always say it like that because it's so funny. So she likes the Pusheens, and I picked up some of the Funko Pops for her. This is the Dragon Sheen, Pusheen number 14. I don't know much about the Pusheen cat itself. I don't know its story. I think it might be anime based. I'm not 100% sure because like when I go to Tate's, they don't have a big section for Pusheen. So I'm thinking these might be anime kitty cats. I'm not, like I said, sure of what they're all about. But they had different variants for this guy. I believe Books A Million has the same one here. It's a different paint variant, and he's holding a gemstone instead of an egg. It's a different colored Pusheen too. But this is the Dragon Sheen. We picked up the Pusheen Mermaid, which is a side-loaded packaging. This is a BAM, Books A Million exclusive. It's the same one as the normal Pusheen Mermaid. The only difference is it's a color variant, and of course, the sticker is different there as well. I'll open it up if you want to take a look at it real quick here. If you've never seen side-loaded packaging, it's a little different than a normal Funko box because it comes in, like I said, side-loaded. They're very, very cute. This is very, very small. It's a very small pop. It's not a very large pop compared to, let's say, even the Dragon Sheen is much bigger in scale. Right here. The coloring is much different than the normal Pusheen cat. But it looks very, very cool. Like I said, I don't know much about Pusheen. They just look very, very neat. And every single time, like I said, I've gone to Hot Topics and saw them. I've gone into Tate's. We've gone to It's Sugar, and I always go, Pusheen! It's very, very funny. So, yeah. That's the Pusheen Mermaid. I don't know if I'm going to do a video review on these. What do you guys think? Should I do a video review of these two guys? Let me know in the comment section if I should review them. And last one I picked up was a Funko Shop exclusive, which is a Pusheen-icorn. Very cool pop. A little different. Has more of an aqua color compared to the rainbow you see here. It's a little different color. I'll hold it next to the packaging so you can see what I'm talking about. It is a little different color scheme, comparatively speaking, compared to the normal box that we see here. So let me just close it up so you can see what I'm talking about. So normally the color would look like this. This one looks a little different. So you can see the tail and the little mane right here is a completely different color. And that's what makes it a Funko Shop exclusive. Because it is literally a paint variant. If you were curious of why it's a exclusive, it's mainly done at the Funko store. And it is a paint variant. That's how they can make these exclusives. They usually do some type of paint variant. They usually don't change the sculpt. They just change the color of the item and put a special sticker on it, which is, of course, that right there. I mean, this could be a Funko Pop battle right here if you really think about it. I mean, it could be. Two exclusives in side-loading packaging. I mean, in theory, it could be a Funko Pop battle. Let's see. What do you see here, Toronto? Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be review-worthy or not. There's not a lot of articulation with them. They're very simple pops. I think they're more gravitated to young kids. That's what I really think they're really designed for. But they look really, really cool. Moving on. They had a special thing at Tate's Comics. I talk about Tate's Comics a lot. It's a local comic store in Lauderhill, Florida. Excuse me. Probably one of the bigger comic stores in South Florida. And they had something yesterday called a Park and Swap, where cars would be pushed up next to like the parking spots, and their trunks are open with little tents over each car, and people are selling stuff out of their cars. That's what they do. Tate does these, I think he does them twice a year. I think he does them twice a year. And I picked up a couple items. My girl decided to pick something up for me because of the 1-year anniversary of streaming. Again, thanks to her for buying these for me. These really cool tumbler glasses. Old school design, old school artwork for DC. We have, of course, you have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and you can't go wrong with a Green Lantern tumbler. More of a classic. These are more like, I would say more like Silver Age cups, but they are, up to the mic, they are glass. I'm going to take them out. I will drink from these. The only issue I have is they're made of glass. And I'm extremely, extremely klutzy, and I hope these don't break. These are not dishwasher safe. You just have to wash them out. But they have a very cool look to them. They remind me of old school comics. Even the logo, if you look right here, the DC logo, this is more of like the late 70s, early 80s logo. But it's odd. They show that logo, but if you spin it around here and look right there, this logo, that's more of a new logo for DC. So I'm assuming this is it's designed to look like an older product, but it's really a newer product when it was released. Yeah, that's why I think Toronto, something very special. I don't think that would be something that I would drink from all the time. I do 100% agree. And drink a choice tonight, speaking of drinking, we're doing some Dr. Pepper. Then I went inside Tate's. I was looking around. I found something very, very cool. You guys know, or you may not know actually, I'm a big, big Green Lantern fan. Massive Green Lantern. You can even see the picture box right here, the shadow box of him right on my wall. I'm a really, really big Green Lantern fan. Probably one of the bigger fans you'll ever see in Green Lantern. That's probably, I would say, probably even in the South Florida area. Or in Florida in general. There's not a whole lot of Green Lantern, just specific Green Lantern fan, comparatively speaking to other superheroes. Mainly, people are Batman fans, or Superman fans, or Flash fans, or Captain America, or Deadpool. I like all those characters, but my character of choice is Green Lantern. I do have a Green Lantern shrine. I'll kind of show you, I'll pull up a picture here real quick for you guys so you can see a display case I have. I have two areas. I have a set of statues that my girl got for me. One was, two of them are sideshow statues. One is of Hal, premium format figure, and the other one is Sinestro. But I do have a spot, hopefully you can see it. That is a case in my studio where I shoot all my video. That's top shelf is Lantern, bottom is Sinestro core. And hopefully I can grab this. And something along those lines is my little table. Right there. Have you ever cosplayed as Green Lantern, Jaden? No, I haven't. I don't have the body for it. I don't think I could. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff there. But I was inside Tate's, and I was looking around, and I came across this really cool little teddy bear. It has a little dangler. I'm going to put this on my bag when I go out toy hunting, because it has this little attachment point up here. But it's a very standard looking teddy bear. I do like it because he does have a little ring right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just kind of, is it on this hand? I think it's on this hand right here. Yeah, it's right here. It's really hard to notice. It's right there. The little Green Lantern logo right there on the paw is kind of his power ring. So, yeah, I thought this was very, very cute. You don't see a lot of Green Lantern merchandise. This is licensed. I believe, I don't know who, yeah, DC licensed it. Tate's stickers right there in the barcode. But it is a licensed DC item. You can see the logo right there. So, yeah, I thought it was a very, very cute little plush. It has back here it even has the little sticker right here. Let me pull the tag up so you can see it. There's the little tag. It does have DC's logo on it. And it says Gund on the side here. So I don't know what a Gund bear is. Never heard of Gund, G-U-N-D. So I thought it was very, very cool to have something like this. And you don't see, like I said, you don't see a whole lot of these things out in the wild. And you see a lot more merchandise of the big three. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, as far as DC goes. Those are your big three. I would say nowadays even Flash would climb up there past Lantern because of the TV show. Yeah, I've never seen Gund, Toronto. If they have, very, very cool. I would assume it's a licensed product, like I said, because I've never heard of Gund. Maybe that's who does all the teddy bears. I don't know. I'm not a teddy bear collector. I'm a Green Lantern fan and superhero collectibles. Yeah, thank you for the knowledge, Toronto. So, speaking of what we're going to be doing next, I mentioned it very brief at the beginning of the stream. I'm going to be doing another giveaway in about, I want to say, 2 weeks. Excuse me. About 2 weeks, I'm going to do another giveaway. And Entertainment Earth provided me with some more stuff. And we're doing something a little bit different this time. I've mentioned it before. Hey, Anna, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. This is the 1-year anniversary stream. But they've done stuff, Funko's done stuff, something called the 5-Star Series. That's a more detailed kind of Funko item, but it's not a pop and it's not a Dorb. And it gave me a full series of these items. So first, let's take a look at these here. These are the 5-star figures. That's Batgirl. This is going to be a giveaway for all these items. As I mentioned before, last week's stream, thanks, Ann, you open it up here, and it has a flap, and inside you have a little figure. It looks very, very cute. Small scale. I want to say it's like Dorb size as far as the size goes, but there's articulation and there are accessories on each one of these characters. So that's Batgirl. We have Harley Quinn. Their packaging is identical. It says 5-star. These are all the figures that are available in the wave. We have Mr. Joker himself. Right there. Same packaging. We have Bats himself. These aren't exclusive. These are normal design. He comes with a bat signal and a batarang. And last but not least is Poison Ivy. This is going to be the next giveaway. This is going to be going up most likely probably the second week of March, I'm assuming. I do like the Toronto. I do like the open flap. All the 5-star figures for Funko do that, where you can open it up and see what's inside the packaging. I do like that idea, and I would make the assumption you can also pre-pack it back in. So if you like it, got done, displaying it, you can always pack it back in the packaging and seal it. I always like that idea. What's my opinion of the Shazam movie, Jaden? Good. We're going to be talking about Q&A now. Perfect segue, Jaden. Thanks for dropping that bomb. Drink tonight of choice is Dr. Pepper. What do I think of the new Shazam movie? I like it. Jeff Johns had a hand in it. I think it's going to be a very good movie. It's going to be a different pace of movie that DC doesn't normally do. It's not a dark movie. It's more of a lighthearted, I would say, superhero comedy movie than anything else. Excuse me. I think it's going to be a very good movie, all things considered. I think it's going to be really enjoyable. The guy who plays in The Office, he also played in, I can't remember, there was a comedy show that came on years ago. Where he was like a nobody. He was like, I think he was like an office clerk, and he became like this spy. Chuck, the guy who plays in Chuck, I believe, is him. Just in a muscular suit. I think it's gonna be a very, very good movie. I think it's gonna be very, very enjoyable. I still can't understand, and I've not seen it, so maybe you can explain to me. Yeah, Chuck, that was the one. Maybe you can explain to me, guys, why was Aquaman so successful? I apologize. I have a cough drop. Why was Aquaman so successful at the box office? I don't really understand. I don't get it. To me, I don't really. I understand Aquaman the character. I just don't understand why it did so well in the box office. But I think the Shazam movie is going to do really well. I really, really do. It's going to make probably $100 million opening weekend. I think it will. If it doesn't make 100, it's going to come very, very close to it. I think it's probably do even better on international. But I think it's going to be very, very good. It's going to be a really good movie. I'll be seeing that, absolutely. I'm going to be seeing Captain Marvel in a couple weeks. I think that one's going to be a good movie as well from Marvel. That's going to be another $100 million easily opening weekend. That one's going to be very, very good leading into the end of the Infinity Wars. That will set up to the next Infinity War movie, the Endgame movie, coming up in a few short months. But I think both of them are going to be good films. As far as the collectibles, I saw the Shazam multiverse figure. Looks okay. Looks okay. I'm not a big Shazam fan. I know the character, I know his abilities, I know his powers, but I'm not a big fan of his. Yeah, absolutely. I was not a big fan of the Batman v Superman movie. I actually hated it. The Batman, the Nolan series was very, very good. I liked the Man of Steel movie. A lot of people didn't like the second one. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The first movie I really liked. I really liked Man of Steel. People really didn't like it. I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. It was a good flick. I had a lot of fun on it. It was different. The stuff with Zod near the end was a bit out of character, but what happens with Superman Metropolis all the time, there's a ton of destruction. Superman gets thrown through buildings all the time. It's in the comics. That's normally what happens. Metropolis always gets wrecked. Jesse Eisenberg playing Luthor was a horrible choice. they picked the wrong character to play that, wrong actor to play that role. It was bad, in my honest opinion. But yeah, as far as the Shazam movie goes, I'm definitely going to see that one, and I'm going to be definitely seeing the Captain Marvel. You guys have any other questions you want to throw at me? This is the time for some Q&A, guys. Q&A. Hit me up in the chat, please. If you didn't see, I'll bring it up back up again. If you came into the chat late, we're talking a little bit about Funko Pop Battle number 2. We did these two guys in Funko Pop Battle. It's a new video segment I debuted about a month ago. These guys go head-to-head in competition. Which pop do you think is better? Just watch that video and let me know in the comment section which of the two pops would be better. Keaton, it has a near and dear place in my heart. I liked the original, I believe it was 86 or 84, Batman, which is the Michael Keaton one. It will always stand the test of time. He did a really, really good job in that movie. Same thing with the guy who played Joker. I'm drawing a blank on a name now. Wow. Tells you where my mind's at right now, guys. Jack Nicholson. Wow. Jack Nicholson played a really good Joker. Was he really the Joker that we've seen in the comics? Not so much. But he got into that skin of that character. And it was a very, very good movie for its time. The sequels and spin-offs, not so good. Stuff with Penguin with Danny DeVito, very, very good. Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer, not so good. At least in my honest opinion. But Michael Keaton was definitely a good film. I think the Nolan films still kind of trump it. Jaded, let's see here. If you had $1 million, what would you do with it? Hard choice. Hard choice. So let's knock that down first. If I had $1 million, what would I do with it? I would say invest it, but I'm too old. Excuse me, I'm too old now for an investment that have a long-term growth. Definitely want to get a better home. Definitely get a better place to live. Better furnishings, better equipment. Really link down my future for my family is what I would like to do. Make sure we're well off. We have no issues, no problems. That's what I really would like to do if I had that type of money. Toronto, let's see here. Rook, what old movie do you think needs Funko Pops the most? One thing I mentioned, that's a good question, Toronto. I think a very good Funko Pop ride would be Airwolf. They did a Knight Rider one. I can honestly see them do an Airwolf. That would be very, very cool to have as a pop. Excuse me. It's not a movie; it'd be more of a TV show. But I can definitely see them doing an Airwolf pop. Even let's say, what was it? What was the name of that one? Street Hawk, another good show I liked back in the day. What was the other one? Automan, another great TV show. I like the old school corny 80s shows. I really do. I think they made an 18 van, I believe. I could be wrong. But I think they made an 18 van. As far as old movies go, they made Flash Gordon already. They made Conan already. I'd like to see Krull. Krull would be very cool to have pops. I'm trying to think of any of the old school movies that I really, really liked. We already got Princess Bride. I don't think we have any Wrath of Khan pops. Not from the new movies, but the original Wrath of Khan. I don't think we got any Star Trek II Wrath of Khan stuff. Having a couple of the Star Trek ships as Funko Pop rides would be very cool as well. Enterprises they can do Defiant. You can do the DS9. You can do a lot of those capital ships as Funko Pops. Battlestar Galactica ships as pop rides would be very, very cool. Beastmaster, oh, one of my favorite movies. I love Beastmaster. Love it. Not the new TV show. The original Beastmaster movie. I loved that movie. Growing up as a kid. Loved it. Why is Green Lantern your favorite character? Long story short, back in 1994, a buddy of mine, my best friend back then, was a big fan of Batman. Massive fan of Batman. I wanted to start to get into collecting. Hey, Christian, thanks for coming in. Long time no see. I wanted to start to get into collecting of comics, and I couldn't figure out a character I really wanted to gravitate to in 94. He mentioned a couple characters. He was a big fan of Batman. I liked some of the spin-off characters, like Nightwing, I like Robin. And I started collecting books for them, but I wanted to have my own thing. And I remember watching the old Challenges of Super Friend cartoons, and there was Green Lantern on it. And he told me about a new storyline that just started, and they're transitioning the team out, because Lantern books were on the decline as far as readership goes, and they're trying to revamp and rebuild the character. And that was during a series called Emerald Twilight, where Hal Jordan went crazy and destroyed the entire Green Lantern Corps. He blew up the central power battery, killed Sinestro, killed all the Corps members, Coast City got decimated, and the rings were all destroyed, except for one ring that Ganthet had. He looked like he killed all the Guardians, too. Ganthet went to Earth, found a guy in a bar, literally walking across the street in a bar, and he made a power ring, one last power ring, and he picked Kyle Rayner. He became my Green Lantern. When I started reading the books, Kyle was my Green Lantern because Hal was gone. He became Parallax, and he was written out of the storylines for a while. When I started reading the books, Kyle was my Green Lantern. That's what I gravitated with. Let's see here. Beastmaster was, yeah, I love Beastmaster. Have you seen the new Batman Who Laughs, Funko Pop, and Dawnbreaker? I actually have both of those pops. I did a full review on the Dawnbreaker pop already. Jaden, if you take a look at my channel, you will see the video review and the toy hunt for the Dawnbreaker Batman. Those ships would sell. Absolutely, Toronto. I know they would sell. Heck yeah, they would sell. I love to see Vipers. I love to see capital ships for Star Trek. I think that would be very, very cool to have. They could even do, they could do a lot of crazy stuff with them. You can make them in 10-inch scale. Now they're doing the stuff now with, we talked about it, New York which Comic-Con would be? It would be New York Comic-Con? No. It was, excuse me, Toy Fair. It was for Toy Fair. We did Toy Fair last week. They're going to be doing these new houses with pops. And you can't really tell the scale of the house. They're doing it with the Ghostbusters Firehouse, and they're doing it with the Scooby-Doo Haunted Mansion. It comes with a pop, and you have the building. The problem is you can't tell the building scale and the pop size. They're doing different things now, and I can see them absolutely, because I think they already have the Star Trek license. Maybe they don't have it in the size for the scale of the ships, and maybe that's an issue with licensing. I don't know. But they could do a lot of cool stuff with the ships. They should go down that road. I don't know why they don't, but they could absolutely do that. Absolutely they could do that. And I think that would be a very, very cool thing to do. Crack open drink number 2. We're doing, again, more Dr. Pepper, guys. But I like the old TV shows, classic movies, classic TV shows. That was back in the day. There was a lot of good stuff back in the day when it came to movies and TV. As far as any other properties I can see them doing, they've done Goonies already. If you could be in any Lantern Corps that isn't the Green Lantern Corps, that's easy. It would be Blue Lantern. I've always gravitated to the Blue Lantern Corps, which is for Hope. If you're not familiar with the Blue Lantern Corps, when Jeff Johns started, he had a long-running and very influential run of Green Lantern. And he made something called the Emotional Spectrum. Think of it as a rainbow. And every color of the rainbow is an emotion. And the emotional spectrum, starting from, you had black and you had white. You had death and life. So you had death and life and all the other colors in between. Blue was for Hope. Hope Lanterns literally were the weakest and yet strongest lanterns at the same time. They could not they really weren't good as far as attacking or in combat. They can make energy projections. They could fly. The real big thing, they're support characters. They're designed to supercharge Green Lanterns. They ramp their power past the 100 percentile. They put them at 200%, 300%. They supercharge Green Lanterns. They can also purge a Red Lantern of their ring. If you have a Red Lantern on, if you have a Red Lantern ring on, it becomes your heart, and you could literally rip out a Red Lantern's heart, and they won't die. Their ring becomes their heart, and they spit out napalm. Probably the most powerful Red Lantern, or I think call it the most vicious Red Lantern, was a cat named Dexstar, a little red kitty cat named Dexstar. So the Red Lanterns were very, very cool. It's unfortunate now because of all the New 52 going away, the Rebirth storyline's gone, Grant Morrison picking up the reins for Green Lantern. All the cool stuff with the emotional spectrum is pretty much gone. All the multiple cores, we haven't heard from them since the end of the 52 and the Rebirth stuff. So what they're doing now, I don't know. All that stuff is very, very cool. We had a Red Lantern Corps book for a while. We had Guy Gardner. He was the leader of the Red Lanterns. Atrocitus got kicked out. They depowered Atrocitus on Yasamalt, who was the leader of the Red Lanterns. Guy Gardner took off his ring, and he had a Red Lantern Corps ring on. They had books called, I think it was called DC, I think it was like DC 1 Million or DC Years Later, where Guy Gardner actually got the Blue Lantern ring. So during the continuity, he would have lost the Red Lantern ring, went back to being a Green Lantern, and then he would have gotten the Hope ring, or a Blue Power ring. So that's something that was very, very cool. Years later in the storylines, that would have happened. Kyle Rayner literally became Jesus. He did become Jesus. He was wandering the universe, literally as a White Lantern. Let me take a step back. He was able to take all the power rings for all the cores and learn how to master it, and literally became like Captain Planet. He was literally a member of every one of the cores. Yeah, he was literally Jesus. He was literally Space Jesus. He had a big beard, big long hair, and he would go to different universes and worlds and healed people. That's what he was doing. It was very, very weird. I always would love to have teleportation, Jaden. That was the power I would love to have. That's what he was doing. If you read the last books of Kyle when he had the White Lantern power, he was with Glomulus, which was one of the constructs for Larfleeze, Agent Orange, or who had the Avarice Light, the Light of Greed. Think of, if you're not familiar with Larfleeze, he was literally Gollum with a power ring. If you know how Gollum acted for Lord of the Rings, that's how Larfleeze was. He had an army of one where he would literally kill any person. After he killed them, he would take kind of like their soul and make them into a construct for himself. And those people would be intelligent. They would have some semblance of intelligence, and he would control an entire army. But he was only one member. There was no Orange Lantern Corps. There was one guy. And eventually Kyle learned how to use the Avarice power as well. But he was Space Jesus. He healed worlds with Glomulus as his sidekick. Glomulus was Larfleeze's one of his constructs. And it was a very, very cool storyline. It was called The New Guardians. It ran for, I want to say, like 40 books, close to 5 years. And it was a very cool book for just Kyle. It was Kyle and the New Guardians. You had Star Sapphire in it. You had Glomulus in it. You had Saint Walker, which was the Blue Lantern. You had Indigo. You had Mach from the Indigo Tribe. And you had Bleeze from the Red Lantern Corps. And they were kind of rolling these guys back and forth in the cores. But it was a very, very cool series. If you've never read the Green Lantern New Guardians, read it from the beginning, because you find out how Kyle gained the ability of wielding the emotional spectrum for himself. He's been this character who's really helped redefine the Green Lantern Corps. He was the torchbearer. When all the Green Lanterns were wiped out, he reignited the central power battery when he was Ion, and he became God. He literally became a godlike figure. He was as powerful as Superman. Literally as powerful as Superman. He can make clones of himself, be any part of the universe, anywhere he wanted. He literally had an unlimited power set. His power would never exhaust. He would never. He had super levels of endurance, super levels of flight, super levels of speed, super strength. He had everything that Superman would have, but better. He was literally a godlike character. That's how powerful he was. When he was Ion, the character of Ion, he was the avatar of willpower. That's what he was. Hey Leo, thanks for coming in the chat. We're just talking in this hour-long stream of my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. Going back, yep, definitely, Leo. Going back to some of the ideas that you guys were talking about. Yeah, and that was one thing with Kyle. It didn't corrupt him. That was the cool part. The power was getting to him, but he knew he had to take a step back, and the power was really getting to him. And even Superman had to put him in check, and he was trying to get over. You know, when you had that much power for a human, it started to really get to him, and that's one of the reasons why he pushed himself away from the power, and he reignited the central power battery, and he literally rebirthed the Guardians because they were all wiped out. So he remade the Guardians as little kids. It's a very cool time in Green Lantern. Again, a lot of people don't follow it, and it has its ups and downs. The last set of stuff prior to Grant Morrison's run, the normal Green Lantern books themselves, besides Dan Jurgens' run at the very end, was very, very, very bad. Very, very bad. The character of Simon Baz is not a great Lantern. Jessica Cruz is horrible as a Green Lantern. Again, my Lantern is Kyle. He's always been my favorite. You need the Count Chocula Freddy pop. I'm assuming that's the mascot one, Leo? I guess. Sounds like it is. But going back to that, the Green Lantern stuff, it was very, very bad near the end of the run. The Hal Jordan and Green Lantern Corps was very, very good. It was written very, very well. I don't think they've done Neverending Story either, Toronto. I love to see a Luck Dragon. Atreyu, I'd love to see. Bastion, I would like to see. The Princess, I would love to see. I don't think they have touched that license at all. That'd be another good one to see. Absolutely. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I don't think they did Mallrats. Or they might have done Mallrats. Funko. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. I like that. That was a great movie. If you've never seen Mallrats, everyone really, really trashes it. Great film. Have I played the PS4 Spider-Man game? I've seen playthroughs of it, Jaden. I've never played it myself. I do have a PS4, but I haven't hooked it up in about 4 years. I was very tempted to hook up to get Anthem, but I've heard very, very bad reviews about it. They did make Clerk Pops. I believe they've made Clerk Pops. Jackie was here earlier, Leo. I don't know if she's still here in the chat, but I saw her earlier. Oh, there she is. I would say Flash Gordon, but they already have Flash Gordon Pops. Yeah, I saw him speak at a MegaCon about 10 years ago. I think it was. About 10 years ago. That's when he was much heavier. And it was very, very cool to see him talk at a MegaCon. Cool dude. Very, very cool dude. Absolutely very down-to-earth. Very, very down-to-earth cat. Cool guy. Big-time geek. Love to see him again in another Q&A sort of thing. But very, very cool. Yeah, he had a massive heart attack after one of the Q&As. Someone asked me back, let me scroll back up the chat real quick here. Someone asked me about start an indie wrestling company. I wouldn't have to. As far as the person who asked the indie wrestling question, that was Toronto. I wouldn't have to. The AEW did that for me. They did that already. And you need a lot of money to start up an indie fed. To start any wrestling federation, you have to have a real amount of expendable capital. I believe the Khan family, I think they dumped $100 million into AEW. to start that business. So I mean, they had a lot of capital to begin with. The guy owns the Jacksonville Jaguar. So yeah, yep. It's going to be very, very fun. Double or Nothing is going to be a very good show. They did confirm that the Young Bucks against the Lucha Brothers will be happening. Saddest death in a comic book. To me, probably I would have to say the death of Spoiler in the War Games series for Batman. It was very, very heart-wrenching when they killed her. Of course, she came back. But the way she died, because she was getting tortured by Black Mask, and Leslie Tompkins could have saved her and let her die on the table, a young girl who was a mother, to me was horrible. Batman cut her off, and literally cut her off for that, where she could have saved her and didn't, because he wanted to teach Bruce a lesson. To me, was wrong. Even though we know Bruce is not there in the head, he's definitely not there. But that was probably one of the most shocking deaths. Probably one of the most shocking events, I would say, is probably Identity Crisis, the Brad Meltzer book, where the elongated man's wife gets killed because of a friend gives her a brain aneurysm, and they wiped out Batman's mind. They mind wiped him because of a rape incident. Very, very adult-based content. Very, very strong storyline. Not your typical comic book. Very, very good read. If you've never read Identity Crisis and you're more of a teenager, adult, I really recommend that book. Yeah, it's Supernatural. Are you going to get the pre-order Stay Puft? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think I think I have one Ghostbuster item, but it's one of the vinyl figures, but it's not a pop one. It came from a mystery box, but that's the only one I really have. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Leo, you weren't in here earlier, so let me show it to you. My girl picked this. I picked this up for my girl. Some Pushins. I was tempted to do a review for these guys, but I'm probably not going to. But two of them are exclusive. I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. They look very, very cute. Did I follow the Oscars at all? I checked out a couple bits of it on CNN and TMZ rather, and I knew that I believe Bohemian Rhapsody won a couple things, but I don't think they won Best Oscar. I have not seen the new Xenomorph pop yet. I know what you're talking about, Leo. That's the crystal bluish Xenomorph alien. I have not yet seen it in stores. I've seen pictures of it. One thing, I can let you guys know. There was an article dropping, I think it's going to be happening next week, or actually this Friday. I think it's this Friday? This Friday. Keep your eyes open for Target. TargetCon 2 is going to be starting up. So you'll be ordering stuff online. Exclusives are dropping this Friday. I think for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Every Friday there's going to be a new set of items. So keep your eyes open for that. Let you guys know that now. See, a little news from your friend Rook here, letting you guys know what's going on. Let's see here. What was the most angriest moment for you in comic book? Angriest. Yeah, that's what this one is right here. Angriest moment in comics for me. I don't know what my angriest moment was. I can't really think of an angry moment. Moment where I was like, I've had suspenseful moments. Like I would say probably not the angriest to me. I would say most suspenseful was probably reading The Long Halloween. If you've never read The Long Halloween, it's a Batman series that ran for 12 months, ran for a full year. And the idea was the Halloween killer would kill someone on a holiday of every single month. Even if there was no special month like Father's Day or Mother's Day. Those are big months, but let's say compared to Christmas or Halloween or Thanksgiving, those are more prominent holidays. Every month there was a holiday in it. the holiday killer struck. And it was a 12-month maxi series for Batman. About year one of Batman, when he was really first starting the whole Cape Crusader stuff. Very good read. If you've never read Long Halloween, I really suggest. Hey, Mr. Sum, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming, Mr. Some Basic. We're just celebrating my 1-year anniversary of YouTube. As far as streaming goes. My favorite YouTube channels, I do Funko, they do Funko Pop Hunters. They're mainly for the Facebook group. They really started my love of Funko. Of course, Seth from his Facebook as well. I check out his stuff. As far as, let's say, no one else really. P2 a little bit. Him and I, we do our own things. I've maybe run into him at at a store, and we say hi and just go about our own business. Thank you, Mr. Sum. Those would be my favorite Funko channels. Now, I do watch a lot of YouTube. I watch probably more YouTube than I do normal TV. And I'll watch a lot of wrestling stuff because of the podcast. If you're not familiar, I'll plug that as well. Myself and Collecting and Hobbies, about twice a month, will do a wrestling podcast called Worldwide Wrestling Podcast. He will cover the WWE stuff. I will handle all of the independent wrestling. So, our shows are normally 2 hours long. We're breaking them out into smaller chunks now and letting them go through, uploads every week is what we're trying to do. So, he handles the WWE, I handle the independent. Stuff like AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, a little bit of TNA, Lucha Underground when it was really, really ramping up. Now, not so much. There are a lot of legal fines currently. But, yeah, Seth's a great guy. P2, I haven't hung up with him in a while. Ever since Fourth Friday about 2 years ago was the last time I saw him in the wild. As far as my other Funko stuff, I watch a lot of Jesse Cox. If you never saw him, very, very cool guy. Funny as hell. I've listened. Have you ever thought of getting better sound when you're phoning in every time? Talking on the phone, I mean. Oh, as far as the wrestling podcast, Toronto, we've absolutely tried. I've tried using a headset on it. The problem is that Collecting Hobby really doesn't have a PC. Everything we do is through his phone. And it sounds like an echo. I wanted to even Skype in, but he doesn't have the technology or the capability of doing something like that. I would love to, but right now he doesn't have the tech to do it. But that's something down the road that will happen. My favorite comic and movie. My favorite comic is absolutely Green Lantern. My favorite movie. It's really a toss-up for my favorite movie. It's really two movies that I would say probably my favorite. I always loved Princess Bride. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Quote it all the time. The other one's probably Star Trek Wrath of Khan. My two probably favorite movies. My third would probably be Clash of the Titans, if you've never seen it. It's a classic fantasy-based movie that came out in the early 80s. Great movie. They did some remakes recently, but nothing nowhere near as good as the original. Yeah, he doesn't even have a rig, Toronto. That's the problem. He has a phone. That's the issue. I have a PC at least. We can always do Skype, but he has some issues with his phone. That's why we can't go that road, unfortunately. I would love to. He just doesn't have the tech right now to do it. But yeah, absolutely. I had a cough drop stuck in my teeth. Yeah, he has a small rig, which is just his phone. I would absolutely love to get better sound, because it does sound like it's being piped in. It does sound very faded, because it is talking on our phone. The quality isn't the best, but it's something that we really like doing. It gets a lot of hits per month. It's not on the best platform. Buzzsprout is probably not the most well-known audio podcast platform. Stuff like SoundCloud's better. iTunes is a lot better. You usually have to get there kind of like a backdoor method, but we usually get a decent amount of hits per upload. I mean, we get anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 hits per podcast. So it does pretty well, all things considered. Yeah, love me some Meltzer. If you guys don't know who he's talking about, Dave Meltzer is a podcaster, a wrestling journalist, who's probably the most well-known journalist in sports entertainment when it comes to wrestling, is Meltzer. He's probably the most well-known name. Yeah, absolutely, Jackie. Absolutely. Very, very classic stuff. What's your list for the best superheroes? Superheroes? Um, I can tell you my favorites. As far as best is very, very subjective. I always like Green Lantern. Batman's very, very cool. Superman's extremely powerful. Um, I'm a big fan of Gambit from Marvel. I've loved Gambit. I have his first appearance. I knew the character would be very, very cool when I first saw him. Created by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. Love Gambit. Darkhawk, very, very powerful, very, very underrated. Character that probably no one even knows about. He's there. He's kind of a combination of Iron Man and Spider-Man merged together. That's kind of what he is. Very cool character. If you've never seen Darkhawk, you can find all of his books probably in the dollar bin. Love the character. What is the best store to find Grails? I don't know the best store. Hey, how's it going, sir? Best store to find Grails? I would usually try conventions for that. You could probably find them that way very easily. As opposed to stores themselves. We're just talking about you, AA. Hopefully your ears aren't burning. Toronto's telling you that he listens to the podcast and the audio sucks. Just saying. Just saying. But it's something we're going to eventually tackle. It's one of the things that's going to be done down the road. But as far as what list of superheroes, those would be my big ones. You'll have to listen to the video on demand, AA. He was saying that the audio is very, very crappy. It sounds very, very faded out on my end. Glow-in-the-dark Skeletor. Glow-in-the-dark Skeletor. Dark Skeletor? Dark Skeletor? Leo? Okay. Drink for the rest of the night, guys, is Dr. Pepper. But those would be probably what I think the strongest heroes are. When you have the weapon on your finger that you can make anything, you're only limited by your imagination, it's super strong. And they have given a power ring to Batman before. Yep, I have, Jaden. I absolutely have. It kind of got nixed. I've heard that they still might make it. Can't remember the guy's name. He was in the Magic Mike. He's supposed to be playing Gambit. So I hope they make it. I really do. Him in the Wolverine movie was yeah. He didn't really do. He did a lot of stuff he did in the comics, but it didn't seem right. It seemed a little off. But he was still a good movie, nonetheless. Yep. Uncanny X-Men 286, I believe it is. I could be wrong on the number. I'm probably wrong on the number. First appearance of Gambit. I want to say it's Uncanny. 260s. Well, they have listed here as his annual. It was 266. Yeah, 266. Which of course I have it graded. I have a 8.5 graded Gambit book. If you've never seen Gambit's first appearance, it's very, very sad looking. The art was kind of off, mainly because he looks like a bag lady. He really, really does. I don't know why they made him look like this. I get what they're trying to do, but it came out really, really awkward. That's what the first appearance of Gambit is. That's what he looked like. That's 266 of Uncanny. I know that the price was going up big time for a while. My next favorite superhero, next to GL, to Green Lantern. If we take anything that's Green Lantern off the table, I would probably say, and we're saying superhero. If we're saying superhero, it'd probably be Batman or the Batman family. I do like a lot of the Batman characters. I do like Nightwing. I do like Robin. Again, if we move, I do like Superman. But Superman is, when you're the big blue Boy Scout and you have all this power, it's really hard to get behind a character that's super, Omega level characters. I saw the trailer, Jaden. I liked it. Don't know what to think of. Don't know what to think of Mysterio though. A little bit off on Mysterio. Don't know what to think about that yet. But that's about it, guys. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat tonight. We're going to wrap it up. We've been here for an hour now. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat tonight to support my 1-year anniversary of streaming on YouTube. We're going to be doing more streaming in the near future. I know next week's idea. I've been toying around with it in my head. It's going to be a 30-minute stream. But I want to thank everyone who came into the stream tonight. Again, I do apologize for the sore throat and the coughing. I hope you do enjoy this stream. I had a lot of fun putting it together. If you came into the stream late, it will be on video on demand on YouTube. Thank you very much, Jaden. Thanks for coming in. I want to thank again everyone who came into the stream. I'm going to be cutting the stream in 3, 2, 1. Take care, guys. Thank you for coming to the stream, and speak to you later. And bye-bye.